So let me ask you something that might sting just a little bit. If you woke up sick tomorrow and you had to cancel a full week of clients, would your income drop to zero maybe? Or at least reduce significantly? For most service providers, that question doesn't require words because you feel the answer before you even have to think about it. It hits you in your stomach in that place where stress tends to settle. Because even though your work feels independent, your income is still tied to something fragile, tied to your client. It's their schedule, their ability to pay, their commitment to you, their personal emergencies, and their last minute cancellations. So on the outside, it looks like freedom, having your own business, but on the inside, many service providers are quietly living in financial dependency. And here's the wildest part about dependency: it doesn't feel dangerous until life throws a curveball. And for most of us, that curveball comes out of nowhere. Hi, I'm Cindy, and I help people who help people. The service providers, the givers, the ones who hold everything together for everyone else. I help them build leveraged recurring incomes so they're no longer relying on clients for every dollar they earn. Because when life happens, and it will happen, they deserve income that keeps going even when they can't. And I didn't learn this because I read it in a business book. I learned this because life backed me into a corner. Before I ever became a solopreneur working for myself, I spent over 20 years working in healthcare administration. Now, I liked my job. I believed in work ethic because that's how I was brought up. I believed in showing up, being reliable, being dependable. Over time, though, I just kept hitting the same wall. I couldn't earn anymore. I was stuck at a ceiling that someone else had decided for me. And maybe you know that feeling, wanting to give more, do more, be more, but your paycheck doesn't move unless someone in HR decides it should. No matter how many responsibilities I took on, no matter how many people relied on me, my financial growth was not in my hands. And I remember the exact moment that I realized, wait, I don't get rewarded based on the impact I make. I get rewarded based on the box that they put me in. So I left and I became a solopreneur. And at first, man, it felt like the gates of heaven had opened. No more caps on my income, no more waiting, no more limits. And I finally got to decide what I earned. And for a while, it was exhilarating. But here's the catch I didn't see coming. There's no paycheck unless you know how to create one. There's no paid sick leave. There's no paid time off. If I didn't work, I didn't get paid. And the first time life threw me a curveball, a real curveball, the kind no one plans for, my business model collapsed instantly. I wasn't just trying to manage work. I was trying to manage grief. I was trying to manage stress, unexpected responsibilities with an income tied to my availability. And suddenly, the freedom that I thought I had built felt like pressure and honestly, like panic. And this is where the emotional subplot that most service providers never talk about begins. When your income depends entirely on you showing up, your body, your energy, your emotional capacity, your mental bandwidth, your ability to be on, even when life knocks you flat, you don't just run a business, you carry a business on your back every single day. And it's heavy, heavier than anyone warns you it will be. There's the pressure to keep going. There's the guilt when you can't. There's the anxiety when life demands your attention elsewhere. And you start to realize you're always one disruption away from a financial emergency. Most service providers never get taught this part. We get taught how to serve, we get taught how to help, how to give everything we have, but no one teaches us how to protect ourselves. Because when your business is tied to your calendar, it's tied to your energy, your availability, and your mental health, you're not actually in control of your income. You're in a relationship with it, a very fragile relationship. And you know what? You can be fully booked and financially stressed. You can be loved by your clients and still stretched thin, in demand and still unsure if you'll have enough next month. Not because you lack talent, not because you lack drive, not because you're doing it wrong, but because your model wasn't designed to protect you. And the moment you see that, something inside of you shifts. So let me offer you a different perspective today. The goal isn't to give up your one-to-one work. Most of us love it. It's what we thrive on. And that's where transformation happens. That's where all of our relationships deepen. It's very meaningful. But the goal is simply this: stop depending on one-to-one work as your only source of income, because freedom isn't I make more. Freedom is I can still make money when life interrupts me. And life will interrupt you. Kids need you. Parents get sick. Your body says, that's enough. I'm checking out. Your mind says, please don't put anything else on my plate. You're burned out, but you're still pushing anyway. Your emotional resilience is tapped out. And if your income stops every single time you pause, that's not freedom. That's fragility disguised as entrepreneurship. Real freedom is not panicking when someone cancels last minute, not forcing yourself through burnout because bills don't wait, not feeling guilty for taking a day or a week off, and not fearing that one unexpected life moment will derail everything. That that is the shift. Not work harder, not hustle more, not let me just squeeze in one more client. The real shift is building something that earns even when you're not in the Zoom room. So, what does a protected, resilient business look like? It might look like any one of these, or maybe even all of them. It could look like having digital products. It could look like having toolkits and templates and maybe workshops that are evergreen. Maybe there's some automated funnels, monthly recurring income, affiliate leverage, content that works while you sleep, and simple systems that don't require your constant output. None of this requires, and listen here, none of this requires a massive audience, a celebrity platform, fancy equipment, working 12-hour days, or being on social media nonstop. You don't need to be everywhere. You just need a foundation that doesn't collapse when you step away. And if this feels like relief, that little voice inside saying, yes, this is what I need, then this is exactly for you. When I realized my entire livelihood could disappear the moment life shifted, I knew I had to fix the foundation. I didn't want to live month to month mentally, even if the income looked stable on paper. I didn't want to gamble my well-being on whether I could keep performing every single day, and I didn't want to build a business that needed me to be superhuman to survive. So I created this service provider survival guide, the exact roadmap that helped me move from panic to stability. And inside, I'll walk you through the simple shifts that will help you create predictable income, reduce dependency on clients, build leveraged offers, protect your energy, and make your business feel safe, not stressful. So the link will be below if you want to grab it. It might just be what you need. So if you're new here, you've been quietly watching me, this channel is where I teach you how to build resilience in life and resilience in business, because helping others should never cost you everything. You deserve a business that supports you. You deserve the income that doesn't vanish the moment life says pause. A model that gives you space, that gives you peace and breathing room, and a foundation that protects you, not drains you. And if you've been trying to work harder to get ahead, please, the problem isn't you, it's the strategy. And once you understand leverage, your business shifts from depending on you to supporting you. And that's when your stress, your schedule, your stability begins to feel lighter. Because helping others should not cost you everything. Let's build a business that protects you before it costs you more than money. And I'll see you in the next video.